Jai Hind students, welcome to my YouTube channel. Students, if you have confidence in your heart, then nothing in this world is impossible for you to achieve. And how to attain that confidence? Students, believe me, the confidence, it can be achieved only and only through your hard work. It is only through hard work that confidence can be achieved. And with confidence, every success can be attained. Every dream can be fulfilled. Right? With that, students, let's begin this session. In the previous lecture, we have discussed in detail about moving coil galvanometer. So, this is the topic which is the extension of the moving coil galvanometer. There, I have told you, with suitable modifications, a galvanometer can be easily converted into an ammeter and a voltmeter. First, we need to understand what is the use of converting galvanometer into ammeter. What is the use of converting galvanometer into a voltmeter? Why not galvanometer can be directly connected in a circuit so as to measure current, so as to measure potential difference? So first we will search the answer of these questions and then we'll discuss the method of how to convert a galvanometer into an ammeter of a given range. Right? So students, why a galvanometer cannot be connected in an electric circuit so as to measure current directly? The answer for this question lies in the fact that a galvanometer is a very sensitive device, right? Sensitivity of a galvanometer means it shows large deflection even when small current flows through it. So therefore, a galvanometer is a low resistance device. Now, if a galvanometer is connected directly in an electric circuit and in case the current flowing through the circuit is large enough, then the galvanometer might get damaged due to the following two reasons. First reason, student, the pointer of the galvanometer, if large current flows through it and the galvanometer is directly connected to an electric circuit, right? Then the pointer of the galvanometer in an attempt to go out of the scale may eventually break, right? I repeat, students, for very small current also the galvanometer shows large deflection. So if the galvanometer is directly connected in an electric main circuit and if large current flows through it, then the pointer of the galvanometer in an attempt to go out of the scale may eventually break. That's the first reason. Second reason is, students, when large current flows through the wire, then we are aware of heating effects of current. H is directly proportional to I square. So when the current flowing through the wire increases, enormous amount of heat is produced. So this amount of heat produced can cause in the damaging of the insulation of the coil, and as a result of which, due to short circuiting, the device can eventually get damaged. So these are, students, the two basic reasons why galvanometer cannot be directly used to detect or cannot directly be used in a main circuit so as to measure the current, right? So there lies the utility of the converter of a galvanometer to convert it into an ammeter, right? So let's start with this particular topic, conversion of a galvanometer into an ammeter. So let us consider a galvanometer whose resistance is, let us consider a galvanometer of resistance, say G. G is very small. As I told you, galvanometer is a sensitive device. It is a low resistance device. So G is small. It is a low resistance device, right? So let us consider a galvanometer of resistance capital G, right? Also let Ig be the current for which for which the galvanometer shows full scale deflection, for which the galvanometer shows full scale deflection, full scale deflection. What it means is, suppose this is a galvanometer. These are suppose the two terminals, right? And this is the pointer. In case no current is flowing, then the galvanometer will tend to show zero deflection. In case some current is flowing, then it will show deflection, either towards right or towards left, depending upon the direction of the flow of current. So, this is the maximum deflection which the pointer can show. So, Ig is that current for which the pointer in the galvanometer shows maximum deflection. What it actually means is, Ig is the maximum safe value of current that can be passed through the galvanometer. If the current flowing through the galvanometer exceeds Ig, then what will happen is, as we have discussed right now, just before starting this article, if the current flowing through the galvanometer exceeds Ig, then the pointer of the galvanometer, in an attempt to go out of the scale, may eventually break. Clear, students? So Ig is actually the maximum safe value of current that can be passed through the galvanometer. So it is known as the current for which the galvanometer shows full scale deflection, right? So this is assumed to be the galvanometer. Clear, students? So these are the 2 points to be noted down. One is, galvanometer is a sensitive device. It is a low resistance device. So suppose we consider a galvanometer of resistance capital G, and let Ig be the current for which the galvanometer shows full scale deflection. Okay. And third point, let us consider this galvanometer is to be converted into an ammeter. Our objective is to convert this galvanometer into an ammeter of range say 0 to I ampere. 0 to I ampere. What it means is, we need to convert this galvanometer into an ammeter which can read a maximum current of I ampere. So its range should be 0 to I ampere. So this is our objective. Now how to achieve it? How to convert the galvanometer into an ammeter of range 0 to I ampere? So let's proceed with it. So for that, what we do is, this is suppose the galvanometer of resistance G. So in order to convert this galvanometer into an ammeter of range 0 to I ampere, we need to connect a very, very low resistance wire, which is known as shunt, in parallel to the galvanometer coil. This is, students, known as shunt. Actually, it is a very, very low resistance wire. It is a low resistance wire. So, first point to be noted is that in order to convert a galvanometer into an ammeter, a low resistance wire, which is known as shunt, is to be connected in parallel to the galvanometer coil, right? So, first point to be noted is that a low resistance wire known as shunt is to be connected in parallel to the galvanometer coil. Right? This is the first point. Second, the value of shunt is to be chosen in such a manner that, suppose I is the current in the main circuit. This will act as a junction. So the value of S, which is shunt, is to be chosen in such a manner that current Ig flows through the galvanometer and the rest of the current from Ig goes to the galvanometer. So rest of the current would be I minus Ig. It flows through the shunt. I minus Ig, and over here Ig. So applying junction rule, these two currents will combine together, and the current coming out of this junction will again become I. So second point is, students, the value of the shunt, that is capital S, is to be chosen in such a manner that a safe value of current flows through the galvanometer, and the rest of the current from the main circuit, that is I minus Ig in this case, flows through the shunt. Clear, students? So basically, by connecting this shunt in parallel, it is helping the galvanometer to save itself from getting damaged due to the excessive flow of current. It is shunting out the excessive current and allowing a safe Ig current to flow through the galvanometer coil. Right, students? Okay. So current Ig flows through the galvanometer. Okay, so current Ig flows through the galvanometer, and therefore current I minus Ig flows through the shunt. Flows through the shunt. Right, students? Third point. This parallel grouping or this parallel combination of galvanometer and the shunt constitutes an ammeter. This is the parallel combination of galvanometer and the low resistance wire, that is shunt. This constitutes an ammeter. So the parallel combination of galvanometer and shunt constitutes an ammeter. Right, students? Now let us find out the mathematical value of the shunt in terms of the resistance of the galvanometer, that is capital G. So how to proceed? Now look, students, these two are in parallel, and you are aware in parallel the potential difference is constant. So since G, the galvanometer, and the shunt are connected in parallel, therefore PD across G, it will be equal to the potential difference across the shunt. It will be equal to potential difference across the shunt. Okay, these two are in parallel, therefore PD across the galvanometer would be equal to the PD, that is the potential difference across the shunt. Potential difference is current multiplied by the resistance. So PD across G is current flowing through the galvanometer is Ig. The resistance offered by this galvanometer is considered to be capital G, isn't it? PD across the shunt, the current flowing through the shunt is I minus Ig, and the value of the resistance of this low resistance wire is S. Therefore, students, there is a very, very important formula. The value of shunt, which is to be connected in parallel to the given galvanometer so as to convert it into an ammeter of range 0 to I ampere, is Ig capital G divided by I minus Ig. So this is the value of shunt, which when connected in parallel to the given galvanometer will convert the galvanometer into an ammeter of range 0 to I ampere. Right? Here I is the maximum value of current which the ammeter can measure, that is, which flows through the main circuit. Clear, students? There are still some very important points to be discussed, like this parallel combination of galvanometer and shunt constitutes an ammeter. Now what about the net resistance of the ammeter? Right? So let's find out that. So let us find out the resistance of the ammeter so formed. For that, we can use the formula for the law of combination of resistances in parallel, right? So, resistance of the ammeter so obtained. Okay, these two are in parallel. Suppose the resistance of the ammeter is Ra. These two are in parallel, so this is the formula to be used, 1 by G plus 1 by S. If you can solve it, we'll get Ra would be equal to Gs divided by G plus S. So this is the formula for the resistance of the ammeter so obtained. Clear, students? Also, we are very much aware of the fact that in the parallel grouping of resistors, the resultant resistance is always less than the value of the two given resistances, isn't it? What I mean to say is that whenever the two resistors are connected in parallel, then the resultant resistance is always less than that of the individual resistances. So therefore, Ra, resistance of the ammeter, must be less than the shunt. Also, resistance of the ammeter must be less than the resistance offered by the galvanometer. So students, galvanometer is a low resistance device, no doubt regarding that. But ammeter, the resistance of ammeter is still smaller than that of galvanometer. The resistance of the ammeter is even less than that of the value of shunt, which is itself a very, very low resistance wire. So, what's the conclusion? A resistance of an ammeter is very, very low, right? So, therefore, an ammeter is an extremely low resistance device. It is an extremely low resistance device which is used to measure the current. Clear, students? And what about the resistance of an ideal ammeter? For an ideal ammeter, ideal means perfect. For an ideal ammeter, the resistance of the ammeter should be 0, it should be negligible. Just now we have proved that ammeter is a very, very low resistance device. So the resistance of an ideal ammeter must be negligible. It must be approaching towards 0, right? So this is another important fact. So students, let us revise this entire topic. First and foremost, what I have stated is that in order to convert a galvanometer into an ammeter, a low resistance wire which is known as shunt, it is to be connected in parallel to the galvanometer coil. Second, the value of shunt is to be chosen in such a manner that a safe value of current Ig flows through the galvanometer and the rest of the current, that is I minus Ig, flows through the shunt. Third, these two connected in parallel, they constitute an ammeter. And since they are connected in parallel, therefore the potential difference across the galvanometer must be equal to the potential difference across the shunt. Therefore the value of shunt is obtained to be Ig capital G divided by I minus Ig. This is the formula for the shunt. And lastly, we have determined the resistance of the ammeter so obtained, and that is given by Gs divided by G plus S. And we have concluded that ammeter is an extremely low resistance device and the resistance of an ideal ammeter is 0. It is negligible, right? Now, very important point we need to discuss about the manner in which an ammeter is to be connected in a circuit, right? Whether it is to be connected in series or it is to be connected in parallel while measuring current. So that we need to understand. We need to understand the logic. So we all are aware, right, from junior classes, we know that while connecting ammeter in any circuit so as to measure current, it is always connected in series. But why? That's the question whose answer we will try to find logically, right? So an ammeter an ammeter is always connected in series. We'll find out the reason for it, right? So, I'll explain the reason. Suppose this is the main circuit, this is the main line, and where current I is flowing, and the resistance is R, right? This is the main line where current I is flowing, and this main line is offering resistance, say R. And our objective is to connect a measuring device in this main circuit in such a manner so as to measure this correct value of the current flowing through the wire. So as we are aware, ammeter is an electric device which is used to measure current. So now what happens is, if I connect an ammeter over here in series like this, I've connected this ammeter in series in this main line. So resistance of the main line is R, the resistance of the ammeter is RA, isn't it? The resistance of the ammeter, that is considered to be RA. Now, on introducing this ammeter in series in this main circuit, the net resistance of the main circuit or the main line would be R plus RA, isn't it, students? Now, since resistance of an ammeter is almost zero, it is negligible. An ammeter is an extremely low resistance device. Therefore, R net will be approximately the same as that of the previous case. That is, on connecting ammeter in series in an electric network, the net resistance offered by the circuit practically remains constant. Therefore, the current flowing through the circuit, even on connecting the ammeter in the circuit, that remains constant. And hence, this ammeter is able to get the actual value of the current flowing through the main line. So students, this is the very reason why an ammeter is always connected in series. In series, current remains constant, isn't it? And remember a very basic thing. Whenever a measuring device is connected in an electric circuit, measuring device means which measures some physical quantity, like ammeter, it measures current. Voltmeter, it measures potential difference. So whenever a measuring device is to be connected in a main circuit, then it is to be connected in such a manner that the current flowing through the circuit must remain more or less same. That is, even on connecting the measuring device, the current flowing through the main circuit should remain constant. It is only then the device can give the actual value of the current flowing through the circuit, or the device can measure the actual value of the potential difference, IR. If I remains constant, then IR, which is V, that will also remain constant. So it is only then that an ammeter can measure the true value of current, or a voltmeter can measure the true value of the potential difference across any two ends of the conductor. Right? Okay, I'll repeat once again. Right? An ammeter is always connected in series. What's the reason? The reason is an ammeter is an extremely low resistance device. Thus, on connecting an ammeter in series, the net resistance of the circuit more or less remains constant. Since the resistance of the ammeter is 0, and in the series this is the formula for the resistance, combination resistance. So the net resistance of the main circuit on connecting the ammeter in series practically remains constant. And if resistance remains constant, then the current flowing through the main line also remains constant. Therefore, on connecting ammeter to the main line in series, the ammeter is able to give this reading of I, which is the true value of the current flowing through the wire. So this is the reason why an ammeter should be always connected in series in an electric circuit. So students, I hope you've understood this concept, right? So that's it for this particular session. In the next session, we'll discuss the conversion of galvanometer into a voltmeter. And there we'll discuss why a voltmeter is connected in parallel across any 2 points of conductor so as to measure the potential difference, right? So that we will do in the next lecture. Do join me in my next lecture then. Thank you.